Green Arrow number 26, written by Jeff Lemire, art by Andrea Sorrentino. This is the beginning of Outsiders War, which is not a crossover. It's just a story arc in Green Arrow, but like, it's a big one. They even put the banner on the book. So we open up with Ollie running around the rooftops of Seattle, and his team is basically like, hey, you sure you're good, man? You had some serious inner ear trauma because of Count Vertigo. And he's like, I'm fine. I'm 100% better. And he drops into the Arrow cave, and they basically like, all right, prove it. And he just immediately quick shots a soda out of Henry's hand. So at that point, Shadow's there, Henry's there, Naomi's there, and so is Ollie. And each of them kind of wants a different thing in the immediate short term here. So Henry is the simplest. He basically is like, look, you should be staying in Seattle right now. You should be recovering. There's a dude named Dick Dragon who is making a play for like the entire underground of Seattle. You need to be here to take care of it. And Ollie's like, I looked into that. I can't find them. I think he'll wait until after this arc. So let's just go ahead and ignore that one. Ollie is all in on trying to find Komodo, going after him, and more specifically getting his newly discovered half-sister Emiko out from under his grip and, you know, basically getting revenge for his father. And Shadow's the one who's basically like, no, he is but a pawn in the Outsiders game. We will get to him. We have more important things to do. And Shadow is the one who basically gets what she wants here. And she says, back on the island, there was an arrow totem. And your father knew this. He was looking for it. We got to go get that, because if Komodo is currently leading the Arrow clan, the totem's the only way that we're going to be able to overtake that and like be able to have a fighting chance here. And so she goes into this back room, and like they argue for a second, and he's just like, no, I'm not going to do it. And she's like, yeah, you are. And he's like, all right, fine, whatever. So at that point, they go into this back room, and Shadow explains the whole reason that she was kept kidnapped by Count Vertigo is because Vertigo was hired by the Outsiders because she actually knows where it is. Oliver's father knew where it was. He never went to it because he suspected that Komodo was essentially a double agent at that point. So he always like dodged around it. He never went directly to it. But he told Komodo exactly where it was. She memorized it. She never gave it up. So Oliver's like, look, I spent years on that island. I know every inch of it. I would have seen the arrow totem. Like, it would have been easy to find. It's just like, all right, well, I'm going to prove you wrong. So apparently Oliver steals a helicopter from Argus because why not? And he makes his way back to the island. And this is where we get Jeff Lemire acknowledging the fact that the Green Arrow stories that happened prior to this happened, because we have Oliver basically reflecting on his origin of he was throwing a massive bender out on his father's oil rig, and then all of a sudden it was attacked by terrorists. One thing led to another, and he was the lone survivor of that, and he managed to wash up on this island. And he keeps framing it in this way of like, people always think of me as the guy I was before and the guy I was after. And I even think of myself that way, but there's also the third side, the guy who was on the island, because that was where I was nothing. So they return to the island. We do get a quick cutaway here to Magus and the Butcher, who are basically... Butcher picks Magus up in a car and says, hey, what's up? And he's just like, Oliver's making his move, which means the Outsiders are going to respond, which means war is here, baby. So we go into the island, and Oliver is a bit hesitant. He's like, yeah, you know, I just kind of get a little bit freaked out being back here. And he recounts like his time on the island and how his father always put him up for archery lessons, and he was a natural, but he hated doing it. And he looks back on it now and he's like, oh, my dad was probably like trying to just teach me part of his life, something that he took very seriously. And I kind of feel like a dick that I just brushed him off so many times. But regardless, when you're on the island, number one thing that hits you is hunger. And it makes you do things that you didn't even know you could do just to satiate that hunger. So very, very quickly, those archery lessons came back to me. I got real damn good at it real damn fast. And that allowed me to basically stay alive. And we see it over the course of him basically hunting this boar that was keeping him fed for a while. Until finally, one day he's on the island, and he felt like he was being watched, and as he looks aside, he sees a little wooden figure of himself holding his bow. And he's like, wait a minute, what the hell is that? And as he approaches it, he gets caught into a net, and we see that there are some mercenaries or something on the island who have managed to capture Oliver in the net. So, cut back to present day. Shadow leads Oliver to a giant wall, just a sheer cliff face, and she's like, here it is, the totem. And he's like, it's just a boulder. I don't know what we're looking at here. Well, you thought there would be something here? Ah, I shouldn't have believed you. And then she's like, ahem, explosive arrow, please. So she gets handed an explosive arrow. She fires it off at the wall. And she says, the totem is not on the island. The totem is in the island. As they walk down a cave with a whole bunch of stairs and stuff like that. And they come across this very clearly, like, super huge designed room, like Last Crusade levels of hiding the Holy Grail. And it says, here is the final resting place of the Arrow Clan, the home of the Totem Arrow. And we cut finally back to somewhere in Prague where Komodo is talking to the head of the Outsiders, who he has a name, but I can't remember what it was. Regardless, Golgotha, that's what it was. It says, Golgotha, let me go hunt Shadow. She's on the island. I want to go kick her butt. Golgotha says, no. We've always known where Shadow is. We already got a team on it. They're from the Shield clan. His name is Kodiak, and he's going to straight up murderize them. And Komodo doesn't like that. He thinks he's owed it, but regardless, he's part of the Outsiders now, so he has to listen to orders. So yeah, that's the issue. We get a shot of Kodiak and his tribe of Shield clan, and they look genuinely terrifying. I'm into it. I've been into this series the whole damn time. The fact that we finally are reaching the thing that we were building to, the Outsiders War, so down for it. Obviously, at some point, we're going to have to cross over with Katana, which is the only part where I'm going to sigh a little, But regardless, this was top tier. It always has been. I love the art. Sorrentino cannot do wrong in my book. Jeff Lemire knows how to not only give exposition, but make it feel fresh, make it feel like it is just people having a conversation rather than someone reading out of a textbook saying all these things. I think it's a masterfully well done comic, and I'm definitely looking forward to the rest of the Outsiders War. Plus, I mean, I don't believe in like the zodiac astrology and all that, but like you give me these tribes with their own little special symbols on each of the covers. I mean, I'm gonna love it. That's just, I don't know what it is about like that little categorization thing in my brain, but like that's it. So yeah, I'm going to give this one an 8.5. Really enjoyable. Really looking forward to the rest. Hopefully it just continues to nail it as it has been for months now.